happening, because when you strive for $1 million, you'll get $10 definitely. So again, analogy, I'm not sure that's right or wrong. It's wrong, but
if you strive for $1 million, anyone will get a 10. So the point is, if you strive for $1 million, you will get the $1 million. Shubhada is not in money. Shubhada has different meaning. Okay.
I was trying to.
Alright. Any other?
The other two.
Let's see if others have some idea. Any other? Or 4 more remaining.
Not easy to achieve.
Very, very good. Bhakti is not easy to achieve. That's 3.
Then
Anything else?
oh,
Do you remember anything? 2 weeks old, no?
will not desire of human liberation.
Very good. Moksha Labhuta Kriti. Derides, if someone tells you will get liberation, so no liberation. Bhakti is like that.
Transcendental pleasure.
It situates you in transcendental happiness. And finally,
Prema.
not prema.
Krishna is attracted only.
Krishna Akarshini. Krishna means the all attractive. So there is, if I have $1 million, right, and you show me $100 bill, I have like, come on, I'm not interested, because I'm not attracted. If I don't have any money, $100 bill is attractive. But if I have a lot of money, $1 billion, and I show you a $100 bill, what are you joking? I'm not interested. So nothing attracts. He has everything. He has all the strength, so you can show. He'll be like, all the money, all the beauty, all the knowledge, all the renunciation, right? You show anything to Krishna and Krishna will laugh. Like, what? I already have all this, unlimitedly. So I'm not attracted. So then what attracts Krishna? Bhakti. Love for him is so powerful that he who is attractive for everyone and everything is attracted by Bhakti. Thank you. Krishna Akarshini. Okay, very good. Anything else you remember? That's a lot. Anything about the definition of pure bhakti that Maharaj gave? What it is and what it is not, he said. Can you guess what it is not? What is not pure bhakti?
Asking for something in return.
Anyway, you remember the word anya abhilashita shunya? No? Yes or no? No. So this verse, this shloka, I would suggest you should learn. This is the definition of pure bhakti. And it has, the first 2 lines say what it is not. The second 2 lines tell us what it is. Alright? So, Uttama Bhakti means that which is beyond the modes of nature, not material, spiritual or transcendental or pure bhakti. It has, first what it is not. It says, Anya Abhilashita Shunya. Shunya means 0. Anya Abhilash. Any other desire or aspiration. Some people say, I am conducting bhakti because I want something from it. For example, someone says, oh, such and such family is not having children. If you perform this vrata for 10 days or 1 month, then you will have a child. So they do all this because there is some anya abhilash. I am not getting any job. Oh, do certain vrata, certain whatever, graha, Mars or Shani is not good. Do some Shani puja, you'll get a job. I'm not saying you will because that's not true. I'm just making, hypothetically speaking. If you do Shani puja, then you will get this. So they do it. right? Or they do something because they want something else. Like there are many persons who do, hey, what's that 40-day Ayyappa thing, right? For 40 days, no shoe, no eating, no shaving, they eat somewhere. But for them, the vrata is a 40-day countdown. They do for 40 days, the next day there's like 39 to go, 38 to go, 37 to go, and they count it down, oh, when it will be done. And it is all because now I've done it, so I want something out of it. The phala is something else. So it's called anya abhilasha. But bhakti means, pure bhakti means anya abhilashita shunya. It's not because I want something else. Shunya. I'm not butter marifying Krishna. It's a very high level English word, butter marifying. You heard about this word? It's a dictionary word, butter marifying. No? First time? First time. It's a complicated word. Butter marifying. That is anya abhilashita shunya. That's first. Then jnana karma adi. Adi means etc. Anavritam. Avrita means to cover. Anavrita means not covered by. Not covered by karma and jnana. So the question will be, what does that mean? So lot of people say karma yoga, right? And people have a definition of karma yoga. Actually, a lot of people have many mixed definitions. Usually the definition is always wrong, but generally they think anything you do with your hand is called karma yoga because you're doing something. It's not karma yoga. Karma yoga typically means that you have to do something in terms of duty in this world. That's what they call it, karma yoga. That's the general idea. Sense of duty, and whatever comes to you in life is because you have to do something about it. Otherwise it will not come to you. That's the concept of karma. That means it's a mechanical system. If I do A, B and C, then I will get X, Y and Z. Therefore a lot of people have this beautiful thing posted on their wall. Work is worship. This is not correct philosophy, but that's the idea. Or another idea of karma is you will only get success if you work hard. There's a difference between working hard and being dedicated. It's two different things though. Okay? Working hard, is it true that everyone who works hard becomes successful? No. There are many persons who don't work at all or don't do much, but they're very successful. Some work very hard and become successful. Some work very hard and they can barely pay their bills. So working hard and success are not connected. But dedication is a different issue. Dedication means that I genuinely want to become good at what I am doing. So karma yoga means to think that by doing certain things, right, doing the right things, I will get the results. This is not bhakti. That doesn't mean we don't do the right thing. We do, but that's not the purpose of it. And jnana means speculating on the basis of philosophical study, not this book, just philosophical study. So a lot of people are very philosophical, but don't do anything about it. Alright? They're very philosophical. They have all sorts of philosophy.
Does karma yoga lead to Krishna?
No. No. And I explain. Okay? So jnana yoga or jnana means speculating, philosophical speculation. Oh, why does the world work this way? Oh, I come up with some theory of my own. It's called speculation. I have no reference in proper Vedic understanding. Even in Vedic knowledge, there is such a vast body, people will take different parts and come up with their own theories. That's called speculation. So karma and jnana. So what happens with jnana is one becomes so philosophical that they don't understand the nuances of bhakti. So karma jnana anavritam. Okay, that's not what bhakti is. Then what is bhakti? Anukulyena. The word anukula means, yeah, an opposite of anukula is pratikula. So if you do something for someone's benefit, it's called anukul. If I do something against your benefit, I am being pratikul. We should not think I am being cool. You are anukul or pratikul. Depends on what you are doing. So Anukulyena, Krishna, Anushilana. The word Sheela means behavior or cultivation. Like we say some person's name is Susheel or Susheela. What does that mean? Susheel. Su means very good and Sheela means very good behavior. One who behaves very well is called Susheela. So Anushila means behaving, and wherever in Sanskrit you have the word Anu, it means to follow. For example, Lakshmana's name, Lord Ramachandra's younger brother, is called Rama Anuja. Krishna is also called Ramanuja because he was born after Balaram. So Rama, Anu, Ja means to be born. Anuja means one who was born after Rama is Lakshmana. Ramanuja. Like that. So Anushilana means I do following some example. So our acharyas, they have set the example of how to behave, how to conduct one's life in devotional service. So I follow that path. I don't create my own. I don't invent my style of bhakti. That's not working for me. I like my own style. I will do it. Why is everyone doing with the right hand? I will do with the left. What matters is the heart, no? I'm doing with feelings. Best I want to do with the left hand. For example, this is invention of my own. This is no Anushilana. In Mahabharata, Yudhishthir Maharaj was asked. Actually, Yudhishthir Maharaj asks Bhishma Dev, what is the right way to conduct one's life? Because if I take scripture is so vast and there are contradicting statements. On one hand, it will say, don't eat meat. On the other hand, it will say, Amavasya, you can eat meat. Like, whoa! Is it? Some people will gravitate towards this side, some people will gravitate towards this side, right? So how do I know? Sometimes it will say you should do this, sometimes it will say you should not do like that. Then how do I know? If I just pick and choose? No. So then Bhishma Dev, who's lying down on the bed of arrows, he says, Tarka means lot of discussion and research. Vibhinna Shruta. Vibhinna Shruta means discussing from different people. Not that. There's only one way. Mahajana yena gata sapantha. Sapantha means that path on which the great Mahajanas have already walked on. So it is said, suppose you are lost in a very deep dark forest, right? And you don't know where to go. But you see some pathway because someone has walked on it, right? What would you follow? Naturally, you will follow that thinking, someone has walked through this, let me follow that step. So if I have to create my own path, I don't know where I'm going to go. So the Vedic literature is called like a large forest, Brihad Aranya. So there is one Upanishad called Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. Large forest and it's dark, you don't know which way to go. So you look for already trodden path. Some people say, I make my own path, I don't follow the beaten path. This is not bhakti. Bhakti means you follow the beaten path. Anushilana. But this Anushilana must be Anukula, it must be favorable to Krishna. Whatever I am doing, generally I do on the basis of whether I like or I don't like. Right? It's not whether I like or don't like. The question is, was does Krishna like? Because in loving relationship, by this whole the concept of love means we do something that is likable or favorable to the beloved. We don't do because it is nice to me. I feel good, therefore I am doing. That's not it. That's not love. But if the beloved feels good, we automatically feel good. Oh, that's nice. So that is love. Bhakti is like that. Just not material. So we can talk of it in terms of the boy and girl concept, but that's what it is. So Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Anushilanam means not only to follow the path, but to learn the activities of it. So this verse is very, very important. If you remember this verse, the rest of Nectar devotion will make sense. Because we'll keep coming back to this verse as the main reference, pivotal verse. The whole Bhakti-rasamrita-sindhu stands on this one verse like that. So in any scripture, there is one verse on which the whole scripture stands. It's the pramana, or in sometimes it's called paribhasa sutra. It's the very verse on which the whole scripture stands on. So this Nectar devotion stands on this verse. Anyabhilashita shunya jnana karma adi anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktiruttama. That is the definition of pure devotional service. That's, yes.
So if like you told about bhakti, so while doing bhakti towards Krishna, we should not think about what we want or what materialistic things we want. So you told you said that we should think about shunya.
No, we should, the other desires should be sunya. Our desire is to please Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna.
Okay, so we should be gratitude towards what we already have, or?
No, we want to please Krishna. I am doing something so Krishna will be happy with it. Krishna will be pleased by it. Yes?
So we should do, if we are doing things which, like what type of thing? Seva?
Everything should be considered seva. So, anukulyena. So, if I do some activity that is not favorable, I cannot call it seva. That becomes meva. Meva means it's a sweet that you eat. There's a difference between meva and seva.
When we should feel gratitude about
Always. Should always be grateful because Krishna is giving us so much. That's how we should think. And even when difficulty comes, persons are suddenly supposed to be grateful. Oh Krishna, thank you. Because now you're making me think of you even more intensely. Because when the ride was comfortable, I may not have thought of you so comfortably. When difficulty comes, wow, it's an impetus to think. Alright? So that's the definition of pure bhakti. So then Rupa Goswami says that pure bhakti has 6 characteristics which we talked about. And now in chapter 2 we will read about how this bhakti develops. Okay, so as we're reading, I'll pause and we'll discuss a bit. So you're going to read from the screen and I can't turn around this way, so I will read from here. Alright, who wants to do the honors? One paragraph at a time. Go ahead.
The 3 categories of devotional service.
Slow and loud.
The 3 categories of devotional service which Srila Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti-rasamrita-sindhu are listed as devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy, and devotional service in pure love of Godhead. There are many subheadings in each of these categories. Generally, it is understood that in the category of devotional service in practice, there are 2 different qualities. Devotional service in ecstasy has 4 qualities, and devotional service in pure love of Godhead has 6 qualities. These qualities will be explained by Srila Rupa Goswami later on.
Okay. So you know what the devotional service in practice has 2 qualities, in ecstasy has 4. Do you know what this is? Okay, you remember the 6 characteristics? Right? So the first 2, Kleshagni and Shubhada, they only manifest in the sadhana stage of practice. 2 more, the desire, no desire for liberation and transcendental happiness, they arrive in the next stage. It's called the bhava stage. And 2 more, Krishna Akarshani and that's Krishna Akarshani. Oh, this previous to is difficult to achieve and deny or declaring liberation. The other 2 come in the prema stage. That's what it means. But before this, Prabhupada is explaining that there are 3 stages of bhakti development. First stage is called devotional service in practice. Okay? It's called sadhana, like what we are doing. It's called sadhana bhakti. We don't have love for Krishna. We only have some attraction to the activities. And that develops into what is called bhava bhakti. Devotional service in ecstasy, which then develops into prema bhakti, devotional service in pure love of God. That's what Prabhupada uses the language. So practice leads to spontaneity, which leads to love. So the word spontaneous is something we become familiar with in this book. What does spontaneous mean? Instantaneous. What is spontaneous? Yeah, instantaneous. What is another meaning of spontaneous? Quick.
Reaction.
Natural. It is, I don't have to make an effort. That is spontaneous. So now in practice stage, we have to make an effort to remember Krishna. We have to make an effort to wake up for Mangalarti. We have to make an effort to chant. Oh, I have to chant. It is boring. I have to sit. I have to close my eyes and think of Krishna. It's not easy. So we are almost following certain rules because I have to do it. That brings what we call spontaneous. Because I like something. Anyone had that experience where what you don't like to do, you have to be forced to do? But what you like to do, no need to force, it just comes naturally. When I was young, we used to play cricket. No one had to tell me. If the match was early morning, practice at 5 o'clock, I would wake up at 5 o'clock. I would be excited. Oh, tomorrow morning, practice session. But if it is studying for exams, like, right? You have that experience. Because something that I am attracted to naturally, I'm eager. I don't have to be reminded. I don't have to be forced into it. I'm just there. That is called bhava. Not for cricket though, for Krishna. And then prema means now it's a mature state. I have so much love for Krishna, it's unbelievable. So the practice stage is guided by rules. I have to be reminded. It is a rule. You should take a shower. You should do whatever. These are rules. In bhava stage, I'm not guided by rules. I just automatically follow the rules because I'm attracted to Krishna. And finally, that attraction is matured into such deep love for Krishna. Clear? Those are the 3 stages.
Is it possible for someone to reach bhava stage and again fall down so that they have to come back to the practicing stage?
We'll come to that. Prabhupada is going to speak about it. I'm just explaining the first paragraph. Fair enough? Alright. Next one.
In this connection, Srila Rupa Goswami suggests that a person eligible for Krishna consciousness or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste. He says that devotional service is a continual process from one's previous life. No one can take to devotional service unless he has had some previous connection with it. For example, suppose in this life I practice devotional service to some extent. Even though it is not 100% perfectly performed, whatever I have done will not be lost. In my next life, from the very point where I stop in this life, I shall begin again. In this way, there is always a continuity. But even if there is no continuity, if only by chance a person takes interest in a pure devotee's instruction, he can be accepted and can advance in devotion service. Anyway, for persons who have a natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is easier than for those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation and argumentative process.
Any thoughts? What does this mean? In this connection, Rupa Goswami suggests that a person eligible for Krishna consciousness can be classified by his particular taste. What is taste? What does taste mean?
How he views general things, how he generally accepts if something which he doesn't know.
What is taste in Krishna consciousness?
Maybe it depends upon the connection that we establish with Krishna. Like some people might get interested towards certain aspects of Krishna consciousness, where like prasadam or kirtan or something like that, and some people will get attracted towards the deities, the decorations, seeing Krishna, maybe some kind of a taste like that.
Okay.
Is it the type of relationship we develop with Krishna? Maybe the 5 primary relationships? Or
We don't know any 5 primary. We have only one. Servant. No other 4 don't exist. Not yet. So particular taste means the particular attraction one has. The intensity of attraction one has to Krishna. That's what it means. The intensity of attraction for Krishna. So then Prabhupada says devotional service is a continuous process. No one can take to here's feeling hot, it's too warm.
I'm feeling short of breath. I don't know.
Everything is closed. Even I can't breathe. Fans not working, I don't know. It's a little too... Wow, he's walking right into the book.
Right into the book.
Maybe a little bit of a
Alright.
cow dung smell might come.
Cow dung.
Yes, we took from Gita.
To do what? Rub it on your body?
Cleaning process. And then for Tulsi Maharaj.
No one can take to devotional service unless he has had some previous connection with it.
is it always necessary?
That's what I'm asking. Give me some thoughts.
Some way or the other, we have been always connected to Krishna. Right? The thing is like the awakening part is not yet been done. So ultimately the eternal question is we are always connected to Krishna.
From whose side? Our side or Krishna's side?
From Krishna's side.
From Krishna's side.
That's what in our side it's not been awakened or it's not been felt.
So basically it is a cycle that feeds itself. Okay? The attraction for Krishna feeds the activities of devotional service. And if one does activities of devotional service nicely, one's attraction for Krishna increases. Alright, I'm making this motion as attraction for Krishna increases my devotional activities in intensity, which then increases my attraction to Krishna. The question is, when does this begin? That's, you're asking, does it always have to be? When does it begin? Okay, so that's the question. What do you think? What were your thoughts leading to? Does it have to be? Means what were you thinking about?
Whether it's like always related to a previous life, that's what.
Yeah, the answer is yes. And that's what Prabhupada is explaining. If in my previous life I had started and finished somewhere, but I could not complete it, in the next life I will begin it from there on. The question is, how does it begin? This is an important question. How does bhakti begin? Where does bhakti start from?
Someone has to tell you first that is bhakti, or like, because we won't know what bhakti is because we have forgotten it, and some external person, the usual example you give, someone who's outside the well should come in and throw the rope to you because you are in the well, and then only you can come.
So what should the person have for which they should take on to bhakti? So one of our acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he asked the question, previous punya, you know the word punya? Punya means good deeds that I have done. Sometimes we say, I don't know what good deed I have done in some life. So is punya the cause of bhakti? Why?
Because punya is kind of like a transaction commodity. If you've done good, good will be done to us.
So is bhakti happening?
But it could be it could provide an opportunity.
I think the main.
Why bhakti cannot be caused by punya? It should be? Okay.
Beyond this transactional thing, because
Yes, because
we are saying like karma free food. So when it is like when whatever is done in Krishna consciousness is karma free. Either karma free means either good or bad.
Okay, what does punya manifest as?
Any form of material opulence or
Material opulence. Okay. So punya is basically all material good things. Is bhakti material?
No.
Is spiritual. Can something spiritual come from something material? Yes or no? What do you think, Vaibhav? Can anything spiritual come from something material? Really? How? How can matter cause spirit?
Different body.
Does the body develop because there is life, or because there is a body that life shows?
First, the body develops because of
Does my heart stop because I am dead, or am I dead because my heart stops? If my heart stops, that's not when I die. It's because I die, my heart stops working. Yeah, please. Matter cannot give life to spirit. Life doesn't come from chemicals. Matter cannot give life. Life is consciousness. Krishna says superior energy, and then there is inferior energy. Matter is inferior. Spirit is superior. So please don't think that we say, oh, they died because heart attack. That is the medical explanation of things. But that is not how it is. If if soul is in the body, my heart will continue beating. When the soul is ready to leave, the heart stops. The brain activity stops. The bodily functions stop. That is called death. You understand? So something spiritual cannot come from something material. Punya. So punya is material benefits. They cannot give rise to something spiritual. That's the first thing. Why punya is not there. So punya is not a cause. Then the Acharya says, some people say it is Krishna's mercy. Is that true? Can bhakti begin with Krishna's mercy? No? Yes?
we need to
So explain why.
it is like to the extent that we approach Krishna, we will be reciprocating to that extent. But he won't be, because the connection which is already there, there is no need to start from his side. from our side it needs to be started, initiated.
Well, but it doesn't start from our side like that.
As you mentioned in this circle, we have already a connection and then we give up. So we.
Do you notice that in the world, many people come across, let's say, the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam, or some people, does everyone become a devotee of Krishna? No. Right? Some people become, some people don't become. In fact, it is very few become, most don't. So the question is, if bhakti is caused by Krishna's mercy, then someone will say, why Krishna's mercy worked on him and not on me?
Because the cycle should be complete. If mercy is coming and we are not reciprocating.
Very good. But then the point will, but my reciprocation is, but is bhakti awakened by Krishna's mercy? The answer is no. Then someone will say, God is partial, arbitrary. He has become a devotee, she has become, I have not become, what's going on? Why is God? So when you ask someone, hey, when will you take up devotional practice? Whenever God says. I know someone I used to ask them, I've known you for such a long time. When will you come to temple someday? It was a wonderful festival, kirtan. जब ऊपर वाला चाहेगा हम आएगा. When God will desire, I will come. He said that once, he said that twice. Third time when he said, I said, God desired 5,000 years ago. We're still waiting for you. Because Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago. He is told already, waiting for you. So that motion of attraction to Krishna strengthens activities of service to Krishna. Then again attraction to Krishna has to be initiated, has to begin, has to be put into motion. So it's not Krishna's mercy also. Then the Acharya explains who does. He says the devotee's mercy. Devotee's mercy, and following that comes Krishna's mercy. Krishna always remains. And it's the devotee's mercy. That is how it begins. For anyone and everyone, if bhakti has to start, there has to be a devotee who has to awaken it in us. Otherwise, it is there, bhakti is there, that connection is there. It is lying in a dormant, hidden condition. Like wood has fire in it. And I've used this example many times. It is there. Inherently or latent heat is there. When I bring fire in contact with that wood, it will burn. It doesn't burn on its own. One day it doesn't feel like, hey, today I should burn. You have to have the fire of bhakti come. So some devotee who's carrying bhakti in his or her heart has to come in contact with persons. And then question is, some people will take, some people will not take. So it's a two-way thing. I give, or someone gives me, but I have to take. So in our IIT we use the example of, I have a potent seed, but I need fertile ground. Then only the seed will germinate. I have to have a potent man and a fertile woman. Then conception will happen. If I have a potent man but a barren woman, I have a fertile woman but an impotent man, it won't happen. Conception. So both are necessary. But it has to come from a devotee who's carrying bhakti to give or to awaken it in someone else.
So one has to get that bhakti from another devotee.
No, one's bhakti is already there. It has to be awakened by someone who was carrying bhakti.
So it has to be awakened by someone.
Some bhakti, some bhakta,
Some bhakta, okay.
some devotee.
Isn't that Krishna mercy?
That is Krishna's mercy invested in the devotee.
Okay.
The devotee has to say, I want to go and help and awaken that bhakti. It's like power of attorney. You know how power of attorney works? On my behalf, if I make you sign the power of attorney, on my behalf, you can act. But if you don't do that thing, although I've given you the power,
So it's already inherent.
what is already inherent?
Bhakti is inherent to everyone.
Yeah, that is the definition of bhakti, because we have an inherent relationship with Krishna. This is who we are. This is the nature of the soul is to love Krishna. But that is sleeping, it's dormant, it's hidden like this. But it has to be awakened. That's why in some persons it is burning like a fire, and in some persons it is very dormant. That's what it means. Otherwise, bhakti would be considered artificial. For example, the example Prabhupada uses, maybe we should, where is it gone? Yeah, let's, 2 paragraphs later, Prabhupada's going to talk about it. Let's go. You want to read? No. Go ahead, Vaibhav.
Here is a general description of devotion.
To support this statement.
To support this statement, there are many authoritative assertions.
What is the statement that is being supported?
Devotional service is easier than service.
Okay. Alright, go ahead.
To support this statement, there are many authoritative assertions by the learned scholars of bygone ages. According to their general opinion, a person may become governed by certain convictions derived by his own arguments and decisions. Then another person, who may be a greater logician, will nullify these conclusions and establish another thesis. In this way, the path of argument will never be safe or conclusive. Srimad Bhagavatam recommends, therefore, that one follow in the footsteps of authorities.
Do you remember the statement I said? Bhishma Dev said, Tarko Vibhinna. Read this? That's what Prabhupada is writing. Tarka Vibhinna means today I have a theory, tomorrow Vaishali's theory will be even better. We all agree with that. 4th day, Arvind will say something, and it will always, nothing conclusive will come from it. So what is the path? Footsteps of the authorities. That's the trodden, beaten path. That's what I take. Mahajano yena gata sapantha. That's what it's. Prabhupada is writing in English the Sanskrit verses. Okay, go ahead. Next.
Here is a general description of devotional service given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti-rasamrita-sindhu. Previously, it has been stated that devotional service can be divided into 3 categories, namely devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy, and devotional service in pure love of God. Now Srila Rupa Goswami proposes to describe devotional service in practice.
Practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. Therefore, devotional service in practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in service to Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge, and some are meant for executing the conclusions of our thinking, feeling and willing. So practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. This practice is not for developing something artificial. For example, a child learns or practices to walk. This walking is not unnatural. The walking capacity is there originally in the child, and simply by a little practice he walks very nicely. Similarly, devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the natural instinct of every living entity. Even uncivilized men like the Aborigines offer their respectful obeisances to something wonderful exhibited by nature's law, and they appreciate that behind some wonderful exhibition or action there is something supreme. So this consciousness, though lying dormant in those who are materially contaminated, is found in every living entity, and when purified, this is called Krishna consciousness.
Does that help? So it says, like a child learns to walk. Like a human child, let's take a human child. Every human child has the innate ability to walk. Now you say, someone can be crippled. Crippled has the ability, just not the organ by which to walk. But does the human child have the innate ability to fly? If the child from the childhood, you tell the child, अरे पैर नहीं, हाथ हिलाओ. Does it mean that 2 years later the child can fly? Why the child cannot fly if they practice it? If we practice every day, can we fly? Why? Because it's not there. It's inherently not there. So bhakti is inherently there. With a little practice, it awakens. But what sets the practice into motion is a devotee. Contact with another devotee. Fire in wood, you need other fire to come in contact, then only fire will manifest. Otherwise it is staying there in the dormant condition. And how much fire is in the wood depends upon how dry or wet the wood is. If there is water content, then and if you bring fire in contact, all you get is smoke from it. It doesn't mean that there is no heat, but there is so much moisture covering it that it won't take fire. So Prabhupada is using the word materially contaminated. So our soul is covered with these layers of moisture, if you will, or darkness. So nothing awakens. With proper practice, it becomes dry, and one day it takes on fire. So that's why it's called a continual process. Over lifetimes, it has been drying. So in some lifetime, someone takes up bhakti and one wonder, whoa, what happened? Somewhere in the past, either in this life or some previous life, there has been contact with a devotee. Only then bhakti will begin.
We don't have authoritative. We have to follow an authority. But so consider in India we have Buddhism and Jainism. This is also an authority, and they follow one principle and take it forward. Like Buddhism, non-violence is the main principle they take it forward. But then again you have a question, which authority we should follow.
Correct. So we say the authority where the line is unbroken all the way to Krishna. It's not just something just starts somewhere. So for example, Buddhism, non-violent. Non-violence is not a spiritual principle. It's a material principle. Understand? So if one wants to practice non-violence, it's a material, it's like practicing something refined, but it's not spiritual. And nowadays Buddhists eat meat left, right and center, including Dalai Lama. So what happened to non-violence? God only knows. Okay, but the original non-violence was different. But it has to go back all the way to Krishna. So I must say Buddha is also, we spent a lot of time discussing about Buddha and all that. You were not there, I think, so you have to go back to, I don't want to take that time because we already done this. So let's come back to this. But yes, it has to have a unbroken line back to Krishna. That is the path to follow. So our duty is to find which is that path. Yes.
With regard to the practice on the spontaneity that we have discussed previously, is it related to the covering that we have that which makes us to do practice for a longer duration than to get the spontaneity?
Practice for a longer time happens when our understanding of Anukulyena Krishna Anusheelana is not proper, or the other two are active also, Anyabhilashita. There are other desires also manifesting, or I'm influenced by karma. One of the influences of karma is to think that devotional service is a mechanical process. How many times you have heard me say Krishna is not a vending machine? Right? How does the vending machine operate? I look at it, I take my money, I put the money, I pick the number, I hit enter. If I have done all the right things, I should get what I am looking for. Right? So it's a mechanical system. Bhakti is not like that. That if I do everything like this, like that, then this is what Krishna is supposed to do. I cannot predict Krishna's behavior. You understand? It's not a mechanical process.
Can we identify the reason behind the delay in our practice phase?
This is the delay. Any one of these, one or more of these, Anyabhilasha, Karma or Gyan Avritam, is covered by that. Anukulyena is not clear. I do devotional service because one, I like this or I don't like that. I used to have one student from IIT. You ask them, stand in front of the crowd and give a lecture. They love to do that. Wash a pot. Ugh. Especially when, the drain is clogged, you have to put your hand and remove some stuff so the water will go. They would look at it and say, Prabhu, I'm not going to put my hand in this one.
So that phase,
For example. So I don't like. Even in prasadam, I like that one. I don't like this one. Of course, it's a young age, but you see the little distinctions are there. So it's not Anukulyena. It's not like, oh, the pakoras are really nice. I have great taste for them. But khichdi is there. But Krishna also ate that khichdi. But pakora.
So Prabhuji, we should take all the prasadam more than
I'll tell you a story of Raghunatha Das Goswami. In that picture, of the 6, one of them is Raghunath Das Goswami. And this we cannot follow at home, so don't even try. Okay, but it shows the extent of which he is in terms of his understanding and renunciation. Okay, so be ready for being blown away. Raghunath Das Goswami, as a young boy, had met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so his whole story is long. We're going to cut short to come to the actual story. Anyway, so he had a lot of attraction for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After many years, anyway, he came. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, and they're in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come out of Jagannath Puri temple and he would get Jagannath's Mahaprasadam from Anand Bazar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would eat and then he would make sure that the devotees will have. So it will go to Raghunath Das Goswami. So every day he would wait, Jagannath's Prasadam. A few days later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give the Prasadam to Raghunath and he's not there. So he asked, where is Raghunath? So one of the devotees explained, Raghunath feels really bad that every day he's standing there for one Prasadam, as if, the whole devotional life is about Prasadam. So he is gone. He's started to think that Jagannath's Prasadam will come to me, like I have a right, it's going to come to me. So he's taken a little humble position and he's sitting outside the temple with all the beggars that, if he gets something, he will get something. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, very nice. Because now he's... So a few days he would come out and all the beggars would be sitting and Raghunath Das was also sitting, because beggars basically means today you will get, tomorrow you may not get, right? So some days later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one day figured out that Raghunath is not in that line. So he asked, where is Raghunath? So the devotee explained, Raghunath feels like a prostitute. Sitting in line, waiting, thinking, will that person give me, will this, it's like expectation, my next customer. He said, this is not how you treat prasadam and you don't pay. So he's gone to, the back of the temple, where whatever is excess, right, the next day or 2 days later, they didn't have refrigeration, right, so it would start to become stale. So they would put it behind the wall where all the cows would eat it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, very nice, he's eating what the cows are eating. Okay, but it is stale, but it is more renounced, right, and more humble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, very nice. Some days later, he said, I don't see him where the cows are there. Where is Raghunath? So he said, Raghunath is feeling that he's competing with the cows. So what is he eating? He said he is eating that rice that has become stale, that the cows take in their mouth and understand this is too stale and they're spitting it out. That rice is taking, washing it and eating that one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, whoa, I want to go meet him. So he comes to meet Raghunath Das. He says, Raghunath, I hear that every day you are eating fantastic food and enjoying yourself like a king. No, my lord, I'm. So he is hiding. He says, and you're hiding some very special food. Give it to me. I want to eat what you're eating, and takes it and puts it in his mouth. And Raghunath is like, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please, this is not for you. It's not meant for you. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became pleased with is that Raghunath Das's understanding that doesn't matter, even if the cow spit out, it has been offered to Jagannath, so I should eat it. We cannot try it. So please don't try like being like, you understand? This is how it is. So I tried once like this and I paid very heavily for it. So we went to Vrindavan. I can't eat that cow spitting out. We went to Vrindavan. That was my first trip to Vrindavan with my spiritual master and a bunch of devotees. So our spiritual master took us to this place where Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir was. It's in a place called Radha Madan Mohan Temple. And in that there was, because it is Vrindavan, the water is considered hard water and everything is salty, no fresh water. Although Yamuna is there, the rest of the places is hard water, salty water. And Sanatan Goswami used to chant in the heat. So Krishna created a well that has fresh water for him. Anytime, is always fresh water there. And Sanatan Goswami used to drink from that. So when we went to visit that, I said, hey, fresh water. I'm from America, right? I don't drink tap water anywhere because it creates dysentery, loose motions. But I drank from Sanatan Goswami's well. Because I thought I'm also like Sanatan Goswami. I had a little foolishness. I missed 2 days of yatra after that. Everyone went to wonderful places. I was in between the bed and the bathroom, shuttling about 15 times. So next morning, because I couldn't go, my Maharaj saw my wife and said, where is he? Oh, he's in the bathroom. Why? We drank water from Sanatan Goswami's well. My Maharaj said, oh. So we don't have the ability, so don't try. I mean, you can try if you want to try, but I know it doesn't work. Okay? So Raghunath, these are amazing stories of that caliber that is good to hear and have respect for prasadam, but we can't try.
What if someone's dietary restrictions doesn't allow them to eat certain type of prasad?
Yeah, that is unfortunate karma, what to do.
But it won't be considered offensive in any
No.
way.
If they cannot eat it, then you look at it and offer your obeisances to it. I'll tell you a story of, on Ekadashi we don't eat grain. And in Jagannath Puri, there is no concept of Ekadashi. Because Jagannath likes to eat 56 times a day. And the devotees like to show that in Jagannath Puri you don't have to follow Ekadashi. Ekadashi Murti one is like tied in the back of the temple. Like everyone can eat grain. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no, Vaishnava should follow Ekadashi. So in one day, Haridas Thakur, who used to chant all day, 192 rounds every day, they brought a whole plate of Mahaprasadam. It was Ekadashi. It had rice and dal and all that. And said, please Haridas, take Jagannath's Mahaprasadam. So you should not say no to prasad. Never. In whatever condition you're in. Okay? So generally when we come from India, if I say, please take prasadam, if you have not taken a shower, you'll say, oh, I cannot touch, I have not taken shower. Right? So no restriction for prasadam like that. That doesn't mean you eat without taking a shower. That's not what it means. That if it comes to you in any condition, in a deceased condition, in unclean condition, whatever, if it comes to you, Okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate, before I tell you this story, I'll tell you another story because they're all connected. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was Sarvabhauma means throughout the entire land. Sarvabhauma. Bhumi and Bhauma means connected to land. That's a title given. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya means the boss of all bosses. He had 100 sannyasis learning from him. He was the head scholar for Jagannath Puri, and Jagannath Puri was like Harvard and Yale, like Ivy League at that time. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first comes to meet him, there's a long story. So I'm going some other day that story. Anyway, they become very good friends. He's the age of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, but they become very good friends. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is very pakka, right? Early in the morning, fresh, take a bath, will not eat anything without taking a bath, without chanting all his mantras, all strict rules and like that. So one day Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is lying down in his bed. It's early in the morning. He's not even woken up. Sunrise is about to happen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, wakes him up from his bed and says, "Here is Jagannath's prasadam." So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and eats it. No brushing of teeth also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Sarvabhauma, what has happened to you? How you used to be all strict pakka like this, now how you read?" So I said, at that time I was only smarta, all unnecessary rules. But now I have understood, more important is to honor Krishna's prasadam in any condition that I am in. Because prasadam has no rules. Oh, I am unclean, I cannot touch it. No such rule. If it comes to you, you have to honor it. It is respect. In fact, it is like if you are eating prasadam and some other devotee comes, you don't have to get up and offer obeisances because you can't disrespect prasadam. Like that, for example. Don't get into rules and all that, but I'm just saying. So Haridas Thakur was given a whole plate of prasadam on Ekadashi. Please take. What to do? What would you do?
I'll keep it and save it for next day.
What will you say to the devotee? I can't eat.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Can you please pack it?
But if prasadam is in your hand and Jagannath is like, "Kha nahi raha hai." You're not eating it. So you're caught between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, don't eat on grains on Ekadashi, and Jagannath's prasadam, who should not have any rules. What to do? Right? This is a very difficult answer. Only Haridas Thakur knows what to do. So before prasadam we offer prayers. Correct? We sing Mahaprasade Govinde. But we only know 2 or 3 shlokas, so we say that and then we eat. Haridas Thakur knows so many shlokas of prasadam that he kept the plate there and went on singing shlokas and shlokas of prasadam, glorifying it till next morning when the sun rose, and then he took it. Because before eating you have to offer prayers. So he went on saying prayers till the next morning. That's how he made sure that both rules are followed. Alright, let's go on. Whoa, 9:15, we should stop. Hungry, tired. I'm also very tired. Yes, prasadam. Okay, let's do one paragraph and then we'll...
There are certain prescribed methods for
Every living entity, no?
No.
Oh, oh yes, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. Go ahead.
employing our senses and mind in such a way that our dormant consciousness for loving Krishna will be invoked as much as the child with a little practice can begin to walk. One who has no basic walking capacity cannot walk by practice. Similarly, Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused simply by practice. Actually, there is no such practice. When we wish to develop our innate capacity for devotional service, there are certain processes which, by our accepting and executing them, will cause that dormant capacity to be invoked. Such practice is called sadhana bhakti.
Alright. So from a chapter overview, what are the stages of bhakti? How many stages are there? 3 stages of bhakti. The first stage is called sadhana bhakti, or devotional service in practice. The second stage is called bhava bhakti, or devotional service in ecstasy. And third is called prema bhakti, devotional service in pure love. Now this practice, the first one, has two subsections. One is called Vaidhi sadhana and Raganuga sadhana. So Vidhi means rules, methods, prescribed. This is how, right? Someone teaches us, this is how we do, this is how we don't do. So first the practice has to have certain rules and regulations. So Vidhi means, it's called Vaidhi, according to rules. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti develops into Raganuga sadhana. Raganuga means those rules are now part of my nature. I don't have to be reminded, I should. For example, suppose you come to the altar to do arati or make an offering. I have to be told, you have to do achaman. Yeah, that's right. Correct. But it becomes something that you remember after first do achaman. I mean, that's just one. But raga means I don't have to be forced by rule. I cannot do like this. You don't have to remember the rules. Suppose you're playing a game, cricket, or whatever game. And when you're playing that game, you have to be reminded, hey, that's a rule. Oh yeah. But once you start playing it naturally, you already know the rules. Or riding a bicycle. Although these are external things, a bicycle, right? There are some rules to ride a bicycle. Anyone here who does not ride a bicycle? Okay, did we just ride a bicycle on our own one day? Someone taught us, right? They hold the seat, they tell us sit like this, balance your weight like this. And a new person who's riding a bicycle, where do they look? A bar or down the floor. And you have to keep telling them, look ahead, there. Because if you look here, no balance. If you look there, you get balance. So you have to tell them, no, hold like this, pedal like this, look like this. These are all rules. You have to be taught, no? And then a little bit more, you practice every day, 2 times you fall, you have a little, what happened to bicycle? There's some knee. But then once you start, and once they let go, although you're tottering and faltering, you're looking for, then you start remembering, I should not look here, I should look there, right? This is all Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And after some days, you sit on the bike. It's Raganuga sadhana. You don't have to remember the rules. You can balance well, you can go well. And as it develops, you don't even remember you're sitting there. People take their hands off the bar, right? Doubles. We used to stand in the back. We did all sorts of foolish things with our bicycle. One was to sit on the handle looking this way, that. And to balance. So that I have to balance is not something you're conscious of. The same thing is taught in management school a little differently. The stages of learning, it's called. So the first level is called conscious incompetence. You have heard this? There are 4 levels. It will help you. Conscious incompetence, which means we all know that I don't know this. I'm conscious. I'm sorry. The lowest is unconscious incompetence. I didn't know that I can't do this. I thought, kar denge, no problem. I'm unconscious of my incompetence. Only when I have to sit there like, oh really, I don't know how to do this. Then you go to conscious incompetence. Once you start doing it, you really understand how much you don't know. दूर से दखता है कर लेंगे, no problem, we can do it. Once you get into it, you figure out, I can't. So from unconscious incompetence, you come to conscious incompetence. Okay? Then you move to conscious competence. You're developing some skill. You know what you know. And you also know what you don't know, but you have some idea. I know something. And then you become so good at it that it's unconscious competence. It just comes naturally. Math, for example. Certain things, when you look, because of practice, you don't have to remember, oh, this is how I'm supposed to solve. When you look at, let's say, quadratic equation, right? Not all of us do minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4. That was what you learned. But now you start looking at it and you say, boy, no. Huh?
You take out the factors directly.
Yeah, it's because it's practice, it's unconscious competence. You know this. Like that. Alright, we'll pause here. We serve dinner. Philosophy on empty stomach doesn't last too long. It doesn't stick.